glad you've tuned in to us here on Channel 26 in Milpitas. And it's either Monday, Wednesday, or Friday afternoon, or Saturday or Sunday morning when you can tune in and join us. So we're glad that you're here with us. And Debbie, you've got a guest that you'd like to introduce.
I do. A special friend of mine in the business, Craig Gorman. He is currently with Intero Real Estate and doing some great things with them, and he'll kind of tell us about that. But the neat thing about Craig is he's a server, and he serves in the real estate community. He is president-elect of our board of realtors. So, Craig, thank you for carving out some time.
Hey, it's good to be here. I needed a rest this afternoon, so this is my break time.
Well,
so.
we're not going to give you a rest. We got lots of questions for you.
Hey, that's okay. I'm not answering phones and sending out contracts. It's a rest.
All right. Well, good. Well, we're delighted that you're with us, and perhaps just for our viewers, give them a little bit of a background about who you are, your upbringing, and your education and such, and what got you.
Well, I didn't know I had 3 hours here.
Yeah, well. The Reader's Digest.
Yeah, the fast version. I was born and raised in North Hollywood, which is a suburb of Los Angeles, so Southern California. I guess you'd call me a Valley boy. Have two brothers. I have one that's 2 years older, one 10 years younger. Went through schooling down there. Went 2 years at Cal State Northridge, and then I decided to kind of venture off on my own. I was driving truck during the summer and decided I could do that, so I ran the road for 5 years and made my way up here. So it's just it's been a good life, good middle class family. The best part, when I was a kid, my dad worked for a grocery store, so I got to deliver groceries to the movie stars. So I actually had milk and cookies at Lucille Ball's house.
That's a great story.
So,
and you rode the train at
Walt Disney's house too. So it's kind of amazing, and got yelled at by Danny Thomas. So I mean, it's you have your good memories and your bad memories.
Wow, that definitely has groomed your groundwork to be in the real estate business.
It definitely did.
So how many years then in this area, and what brought you here then to this local area?
Actually came to this area. I used to have a business here in town, Casey Auto Parts, here in Milpitas. So I actually moved up here to get out of driving truck. I was never home, so it's kind of a situation where I wanted to have a regular life. I could be home with family and actually have a family. It's kind of hard to do that when you're driving 365 days a year. So moved up here, opened up Casey Auto Parts. When I went through a divorce, got in the real estate, saw what my agent did when sold my house, and went back to school to kind of get a degree, and decided I'd get in the real estate since I'd owned property. So 25 years later, here I am.
Great.
Yeah. Terrific. So you've been in this area for a while. You know the neighborhoods, and you know the real estate game.
Yes. And the good thing, like with a lot of us, I mean, some people are neighborhood specialists. I'm a real estate specialist, so I pretty much work from Milpitas to Santa Cruz, from Gilroy. I just got a new listing up in San Mateo, Menlo Park area. So I'm pretty much wherever my car will go, that's where I go.
Well, I think with all your experience and with the folks out there, a lot of them are homeowners, and this airs out to the Milpitas community. What do you see as the current trend in the market, and how do you view that today? How would you describe it?
Real estate is kind of like a roller coaster. It goes up and it goes down. I really feel right now that what's really happening right now is the market's taken a little bit of a shift between March and probably July. It was just rambunctious. People were throwing money out, multiple offers. People were spending money like crazy. Now, unfortunately, the buyers are kind of thinking that things are getting a little bit too out of hand. They don't want to compete. So things are starting to taper down a little bit. I just got through meeting with National Association of Realtors, met with their economists, and they think that 2015 is going to be a stellar year. Going to be a little bit better than now. But the main thing is house prices in California. Let's face it. For a lot of people, who can afford them? So the hard thing right now, I really think we're probably at a point now where maybe a third, maybe 40% of the people that actually live here can actually afford to live here, that work here. And it's sad. It's sad to think that people have to travel all the way to Tracy just because they can't afford to buy homes here.
So now when you talk about the National Association of Realtors and the economic forecast for the coming year, what sort of metrics do they look at in terms of saying that they're predicting this is going to be a good year? Is that the number of home transactions? Is that home values? Or are there particular metrics that they put on that?
Yeah, kind of a little bit of everything. I mean, they look at the metrics. They look at the amount of homes. I mean, they're building new homes. The main thing right now is Thank God the unemployment is, as big as the number is as small as it is compared to the past. So the numbers are a little bit smaller. They look at the economics, the retail, how retail's going. So people are spending money. The main thing right now is people need to have homes. So the good thing about our business, no matter what happens, people have to have a home to live in. So they're looking at the amount of homes. They're looking at interest rates. I think by the beginning of next year, interest rates are going to be a little bit higher. And of course, you being in loans, you'll even know that even better than myself.
My crystal ball is broken, but that tends to be the trend, the direction that we will be headed.
So let's, that's a good lead into the next question about what affects home values. You you talked about interest rates. What else affects home values?
It's supply and demand. It's kind of the old cliche. It's just like with any other product that's out there. If somebody's looking for something and there's not much there, they'll pay more for it. So the main thing right now is supply and demand. The jobs are up, which is great. Even around Milpitas, there's a lot of new buildings that are being built. So of course the people that are building them and the people that are going to be inside working in those, they need to have homes to go to. So supply and demand. The main thing right now is we have more buyers than we have homes on the market. There's a little over 1,700 homes on the market, and we're right now at about 1,650 sales. So the challenge right now, it's almost 1-to-1. You put a home on the market, it'll sell.
So you talk about supply and demand, and in the real estate field, we talk about buyers markets and sellers markets, or at least people who are looking to be either buyers or sellers.
Sure.
How do you look at measuring that, or how are there things that folks can look at to determine, is this a good market for a buyer versus a seller?
That's a great question, because in the old days, what we looked at was the amount of homes on the market. If there was 2,500 homes on the market or more, then we pretty much thought it was a buyer's market. If you had less than 2,500, then it was more a seller's market. Well, right now we have 1,700 homes on the market. So I'd still say it's still a seller's market. The good thing is it's a great time right now for buyers to get into the market, because now things are tapering down a little bit. Now sellers are saying, oh my God, Debbie, all we had was one offer. One offer. My friend Mabel sold and she had 10. So the good thing right now is you're not competing against quite as many as you were competing before.
And don't you agree in that scenario of these multiple offer situations, it always is predicated on where the seller prices their property. I mean, they may price it 50, 100 grand below market just to draw in those offers. I mean, I think that's a misnomer for the amount of offers versus a list price. It always depends on where that list price is
definitely
set.
And you're so right, and I think that's probably the hardest thing that we have with the sellers, is getting them to price the home right. But there's kind of a chart. I have kind of like a I guess it's a pyramid, and the higher you're up on the pyramid, the less people are going to look at your home.
Right.
Unfortunately, some people are doing an injustice, like you're saying, where you price a home 50, 100,000 under, and you think, oh my God, I got 35 offers. Yeah, but 30 of the offers you throw in the garbage.
Right.
And the other 5, and the hard thing is the 30 buyers that had their hopes up to get a home, you've shattered them. And that's the worst part. So I really feel right now, it's just like any other commodity. You price something at $20 and people think, God, that's expensive. You price it at $19.99, you think, wow, what a deal. It goes the same way with housing.
Right. Well, good. Let's switch gears here a little bit and talk a little bit more about the association and the Realtors Board, because you participate quite heavily in that. In fact, you're the incoming president?
Yeah, I'm the president-elect for the Santa Clara County Association of Realtors. I've been a board of directors probably 15 out of the last 25 years. It's kind of strange. We position ourselves in different areas of life, and I've always been in a situation where if they have a problem, if for some reason somebody steps down, they get on the phone, they call me, and I'll step in. So I've been on the board of directors, like I say, almost 15 years. I've been the vice president, head of the foundation of the board.
Grievance, I think.
I've also been on grievance, and then I'm also an arbitrator for the California Association of Realtors.
That's nice.
So not only do I do it locally, but the California board, if let's say somebody in Fremont has a complaint against somebody in Santa Cruz, then they'll pick myself because I'm a middle person to arbitrate. The nice thing with doing the arbitration, the best way to learn the laws is to enforce them.
Very good.
Very good.
So Now, what really is that role, though, for the association? I mean, you help out with the real estate community, but what benefit does the Board of Realtors provide to the average home owner or person who's seeking a home?
You know, another good question. I think the main thing with that is that the main reason for the Board of Realtors is to install property rights and to help the home buyers and even the home sellers. If for some reason a home seller had a complaint against an agent, they can actually go to the board and almost like you would go to court, you can actually go to the board and file a grievance against the agents. So the one thing that the boards really do is they keep everybody on an honest, integral field, and which is really kind of great because
and they compile stats.
They compile stats too, so it's also a situation, and there's also a lot of things that they do to give back. I mean, the Board of Realtors last year, I think we gave $10,000 to a local charity. Kids with needs. We collected probably, I don't know, I think it was like 500 sets of pajamas and what have you. We stuffed backpacks last year, and we did over 500 backpacks.
I think helped homeowners. There's some repairs and
homeowners with repairs. The nice thing is with a lot of the elderly people, we have a lot of realtors will get together, and you take your suits off and put on your jeans and your T-shirts and go out and paint and scrub and what have you. So almost like a beautiful day project for the elderly. So
and one other thing I might add that I see from the vantage point that I'm at, in the board and also the California Association of Realtors and NAR, the National Association of Realtors, watches over examples like homeowners' tax exemptions or interest deduction to make sure that the homeowner is guaranteed to have their interest deductible, and those things don't go away that create value for home ownership.
You know,
that is really important.
You are so right. I mean, what's happening right now, unfortunately, the government, a lot of the money that they've been spending may not be in the right direction. So unfortunately, they're looking for areas that they can take money. So right now, if they take away the homeowners' deductions, unfortunately for most of the people that own homes, if you couldn't deduct that interest, I mean, you'd be devastated. So, realtors like myself actually I was in Washington, D.C. earlier this year for a couple weeks, and we actually fought that and actually beat that on the ballot.
Wonderful.
So the good thing is realtors do more than just actually go out there and help people buy and sell homes. They actually fight to help people keep their homes.
Terrific.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, let me follow up with that. So let's talk about realtors in general. What criteria would you advise a buyer or seller to use in selecting a real estate agent?
That's a really good question because, a lot of times you hear, why'd you pick that agent? Well, God, she had a nice smile. Hey, well, that's great. But the main bottom line is, you want someone that has experience, someone that's been doing it and doing it at a high level. The most important thing is you want somebody who's honest. You want somebody that has some integrity. You want somebody that has a passion. I mean, I think just like with yourself, you've been around a lot of years. I mean, to be doing real estate for 25 plus years, there's something else that has to keep you in it other than just a paycheck. But the main thing is you need to have someone that has good communication skills, because unfortunately, when you're dealing with your biggest asset, you got to make sure that you can communicate with the person. You want to make sure they have great negotiating skills. They have good selling skills.
Great answer.
The old days you could put a sign in the front yard and you can go play golf. You
Right.
can't do that anymore.
Well, I imagine the level of complexity has continued to expand as time has gone by over the course of time that you've been in the real estate.
Really, it really has. I remember, and maybe you do as well, the old days where they had a machine, and it would you get the listing, you put it on the seat of your car, you go in to get a cup of coffee, and you come back and there's a thermal paper and you couldn't see it anymore. So the biggest thing now, I know, like with myself, my biggest challenge is keeping up with the technology.
Right.
You're getting a lot of these the millennials. I mean, nobody talks on phones anymore. Everybody texts. Everybody's using the different devices. So. I got an iPad, and I went to a friend of mine's 7-year-old, and I had him teach me how to use it, which I'm not embarrassed. The good thing is I know how to use it.
Right.
But also, there's a lot of new laws that are coming out, too, and I think for all of us, even like with you in the lending, field, that there's a lot of things that we used to be able to do. I mean, now if you wanted, in a lot of cases, the title company wanted to take you out to lunch, you can't do that anymore.
That's correct.
Right.
So there's a lot of things we have to watch out for, and the best part with us is the more knowledge that we have in realtors and even in lending, the better off we can help support the community.
Terrific. Well, tell us a little bit about the organization that you work in, Intero Real Estate.
Yes, Intero Real Estate was devised out of actually Contempo. Contempo got bought out by Coldwell Banker and then started with Intero. The nice thing about Intero, it's been in existence for 12 years. They actually have such a good base at what they're doing, because the main idea behind Intero was to change the face of real estate. Not only the way that this real estate's done, but also with being more integrity minded, more honest, and then also having being the top of their game as well. So it's a situation where Intero just recently got bought out by Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway. So now we're Intero Real Estate, subsidiary or affiliate of Berkshire Hathaway.
Well, and folks know that Warren Buffett only invests in the best companies.
That's it. So that's the way I look at it. If Warren Buffett came to Santa Clara County and was looking at all the different real estate companies and picked us, then evidently we must be doing something right.
That's great.
I know myself, the thing that I love about being with Intero, it's a young, innovative company. We're Silicon Valley based, but we've also opened up in China, Vietnam, India. We're in Europe, down in Mexico. They even have there's a couple offices in Texas. We're in Arizona, Nevada.
Wow.
So, with Warren Buffett taking us over, pretty soon we're going to be everywhere.
So what other, besides that, goals of the organization would be to continue to expand, or what do you see the company doing here locally then? And I understand you're taking a management position with the company, so what do you foresee?
What I see right now is exactly that, expanding, just great expansion. In fact, Gina Bafari, who was our CEO, is now the new CEO of Berkshire Hathaway Real Estate Division. And mainly what they're doing is just opening up new offices, franchises. So it's going to get to the point right now where Intero, in certain areas, it's all you see is Intero. I realize here in Milpitas we're not quite as big yet as we are elsewhere. But the main goal behind Intero is to get to the point where we're going to have the top of the top agents working for us. And also it's going to be a point, too, where most of the signs you see are going to be the Intero signs.
Well, I understand that Intero is where you do your business and you're part of that management structure, but you're also an individual producer.
Yes.
Where do you see your business and kind of how that interfacing with the local market and where things are headed?
Right now it's a situation where I'm working with a lot of attorneys. So I do a lot of business, a lot of divorces, a lot of seniors that are selling their homes and unfortunately going into care facilities, what have you. So what I see with myself is I'm building my team. So I actually want to get to the point where it's even getting larger. I have a passion for helping people. So my main goal is whatever I could do to get out there to help people, whether it's here locally in Milpitas or whether it's over in Santa Cruz. It's a situation where my main goal is just to make sure that, my main saying that I say is, why should someone have to deal with somebody mediocre when they can deal with someone that has integrity and that's professional? And I'd like to add more professionalism to our business, which is kind of the reason why I stepped up to take the president role at Santa Clara County Association of Realtors.
Right. Well, I'm going to just let the folks know. Let's share one quick story of yours, your passion for people. You and your wife recently completed a missions trip. What was that all about?
That was awesome. Probably the most awesome thing I've ever done. For Christmas, we were over in El Salvador. Went to a small village that doesn't have fresh water. The women every day would walk 1 mile to 2 miles to the river, and unfortunately the river was a muddy river. They'd get muddy water, come back, and they'd just filter it, and unfortunately that's what their water was. So what we did is we went with a company called Living Water International, went out there and built a well. So while I was digging the well with the gentleman, my wife was there teaching sanitary conditions and things like that. I mean, we took over a couple hundred toothbrushes when we went to the village, and the people were looking at them like, what is this? Most of them have never used that. So, I got more joy out of doing that than I do out of getting a large commission check, because it's actually, the money, we all work for a reason. We all, we get paid for what we do, but that isn't the reason why we do what we do. And myself, I have a passion for helping people and giving people a better life. And the nice thing is now I can, I left with almost tears in my eyes because I knew that the people now could have fresh water just by going out. And there's a hand pump well, so at least it doesn't need repair. But the nice thing is now this village of 100 people have fresh water where they didn't have it before.
Well, we're being signaled to end our show here. And Craig, we've known each other a long time. You are really a blessing in my life. And
Hey,
when I
likewise
see you
with
at
you as
these
well.
events, and you're just a great, great human being. And I appreciate you taking the time to come in and share your knowledge with the folks today, and also what's going on with you.
Hey, my
And
pleasure. I appreciate being here and having you folks happy here as well. So thank you very much.
You know, while we close, if anybody wants to get in contact with you, have any questions or anything, you want to go ahead and give them your contact information.
You know, love to. Phone number is 408-313-8411. And then my email is my name, Craig. Craig Sells, S-E-L-L-S, Homes, because that's what I'll be doing for you. Craig Sells Homes at cgorman.com.
Terrific. Craig, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you, and thank you very much.
Hey, looking forward to meeting you again.
All right.
Thank you.
The following is a public service announcement test to determine if you need a fishing license and boat registration before you head out on the water. Let us begin. Are you a pelican? Does this look like your house? Is this your idea of fishing with friends? Do you use your feet as fishing hooks? Are you your own boat? Do you have webbed feet? No, I mean like a... That's the one. Do you want this in your favorite lake? Yuck, yike. No thanks, mister. Regardless how you answered, you need to be licensed and registered because it helps local conservation efforts protect the very natural resources you enjoy boating and fishing in for generations to come. Do your part at takemefishing.org.
Through the years, trends and styles may come and go, but the important things remain the same. Generation after generation, consistently there, creating moments and memories to last a lifetime. Like a true friend, the national parks have always been there for you, and now you can be there for them. Support the National Park Foundation and help protect America's treasured places.
I don't want another drinking man in my life. I want to feel more fulfilled. Does my happiness depend on whether someone else drinks? My pastor suggested I try Al-Anon family groups, and I'm glad I did. Are you troubled by someone else's drinking? You might be surprised at what you could learn in an Al-Anon family group from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-AL-ANON or go to alanon.org.
In Vietnam, we took care of each other.
In combat, you look out for your battle buddy.
I'd do anything for my unit,
When things get tough, it's great to know
Somebody's there for you.
every step of the way.
DAV stands behind America's veterans to make their transition back home easier, with free services and help getting the benefits they've earned. Help us fulfill the promise to our men and women who served. Go to DAV.org to learn more.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching Valley Homes on TV. I'm Giordano, along with Todd Flesner of Opus Mortgage, and we're here to do a short market wrap-up for the month of September. So, Todd, Milpitas, City of Milpitas, I understand, is on the map.
We are on the map. In fact, the recent survey was out about some of the best places in America to live. The number 29 rated country or town in the country in terms of quality of life. Milpitas, California, on a national survey.
What did they come up with? Just quickly, what was the...
Well, the number of things. They look at the quality of life, schools, opportunities for jobs, education, and housing, and crime statistics. And they put all that into a computer, and it spits out for the small towns, small cities, from the 25,000 all the way up to 100,000 in population. What are the best places in the country to live?
That is exciting. That's
Yeah.
terrific. So Milpitas is a great place to work, live, and play, huh?
It absolutely is, and it's now been confirmed.
Now been confirmed. Well, before we head into some statistics real quick, credit scores. There's been some changes lately in what borrowers can do in order to hone their credit score, get it up a little
Yeah,
higher.
actually some good things that are beneficial to borrowers. Oftentimes when I see a credit report, there are inaccuracies in there. Or an area that oftentimes will show up will be in the area of medical bills and collections. And those are notoriously inaccurate. And so the credit algorithms have been tweaked a little bit so that they don't weigh that particular factor as much. And so,
Can a person work through the credit bureau and get those things eliminated?
Well, they can, but they can be really problematic.
Sure.
Doctors practice medicine. They our number one thing is they don't collect bills real well. They turn those over to collection agencies and such. And so getting some of those resolved can be a little bit problematic at times. So again, the credit agencies, in response to that, knowing that, and knowing that oftentimes there's some inaccuracies there, particularly when you're looking at billing for insurances, and some crossover with that.
So I'm assuming buyers can, when they pull the credit report through you can go ahead and work through those processes with them.
Absolutely. And if you happen to have one of those items on your credit, it's not going to impact you as much.
Okay, super. Let's talk about interest rates real quick. Where are they going and where have they been?
Well, they've actually been pretty stable. We've been in the low fours, about 4.25,
Nice.
give or take, here for the last little bit of time. Now, the big news is the Federal Reserve Board, in their most recent meeting, there was a lot of anticipation about what the future and what they're going to be doing with interest rates in the future. And they've continued to hold steady on their current language about interest rate policy. And so that's given a sense of some calm to the market, stability to the market.
Perfect, great.
All right.
All right, well, we only have another minute or two, so can I go into some
Please.
housing stats?
Yeah, how are we doing here in Milpitas?
Well, right here in Milpitas, back in August of 2013, we had an average sales price for a single-family home of $704,000 and a median price of $688,000. That's been changed to August of 2014 to $747,000 for an average price. Median price, though, is still about the same, $661,000. Now, the condos continue to, obviously, continue to escalate, which amazes me, even though we have so much growth of the condo product here in the city. But back in August 2013, average condo price was $472,000. Median price was $473,000. That has now jumped into this August of this year to $550,000 for an average price and $560,000 for a median price. So that's terrific news.
That's terrific, and that doesn't take into account the brand new condos that are coming to market. Those are existing condos that are selling.
That are selling, yeah.
Okay, well, terrific. Well, thanks for the update on what's happening here in Milpitas.
Yep.
We're glad that folks have joined us.
So if you have any questions or comments about the show, Todd?
Yeah, T. Flesner at opusadvisors.com.
And I can be reached at Giordano, Giordano, DJ at AOL.com. We'll be happy to answer anything you have a concern over, or if you have a guest or somebody you'd like to have on the show, please email one of us.
Great. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.